Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Bahasham, Barakahakwadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. Shabbat Shalom. This is the brother Ra'aya coming at you with another lesson. And I'm going to start it off in Revelation chapter 9, verse 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. And woe means destruction. And that one woe is speaking of World War I, and those two woes thereafter, World War II and World War III, which World War III will end in a nuclear, exchange of missiles between these different countries. This is Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled with blood. What you think about, in those old, wars of the past with swords and shields and bows and arrows, even to, say World War I or World War II, where it was mainly conventional arms, where men would yell and run at each other, shoot at each other and stab each other with bayonets. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Speaking of that third woe, where nuclear weapons are going to be used during it, during the climax of it. And the two main combatants of this third woe is going to be Russia as well as the United States of America. And Russia and her allies are actually going to prevail against the United States of America, which leads me into the article I'll be going into in this lesson on CBSnews.com. Russia drill simulates massive nuclear strike in response to enemy attack, Moscow says, but this battle shall be with flames and fuel of fire. Hey, this is just another example that we truly are living in the last days. Really the last seconds of the last days, where these last few prophecies before the ushering in of the kingdom of heaven are about to take place. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday launched a massive exercise of the country's nuclear forces featuring missile launches in a simulation of a retaliatory strike as he continued to flex the country's nuclear muscle amid spiraling tensions with the West over Ukraine. Speaking in a video call with military leaders, Putin said that the drills would simulate top officials' action in using nuclear weapons and include launches of nuclear-capable ballistic and cruise missiles. Defense Minister Andrei Belousov reported that the exercise is intended to practice strategic offensive forces launching a massive nuclear strike in response to a nuclear strike by the enemy. But, that would sound more like a defensive, drill if it's to simulate what to do in retaliation. But right there, he's saying it's a strategic offensive, launch drill. Because again, it's going to be Russia that's going to lead these other nations into shooting those nuclear missiles onto the United States of America. Putin, who has repeatedly brandished the nuclear sword as he seeks to deter the West from ramping up support for Ukraine, emphasized on Tuesday that Russia's nuclear arsenal remains a reliable guarantor of the country's sovereignty and security. Taking into account growing geopolitical tensions and emerging new threats and risks, it's important for us to have modern strategic forces that are always ready for combat, he said, reaffirming that Russia sees nuclear weapons as the ultimate extreme measure of ensuring its security. Putin noted that Moscow will continue to modernize its nuclear forces, deploying new missiles that have a higher precision, quicker launch times, and increased capabilities to overcome missile defenses. And hey, it's bigger than Russia's sovereignty and security. It's the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai to build up these heathen nations, chiefly these Edomite nations, as nuclear arsenals so that they can use them during that third woe. But that's it with this article. Let's get back to these precepts. This is Joel chapter 2. I'm going to read verses 1 to 8. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain, which is exactly what the men of the Lord, the prophets, are doing out on the highways and byways, preaching this word, as well as putting up video epistles like this, blowing the trumpet in Zion to let our people know what times they're living in, so that the elect may take heed and do what they can to get in the good graces of their power, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and for our people, the wicked of our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that don't want to take heed to this word, hey, and to you heathens as well. This is to tell you the judgment that is coming for you. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand. And with talks of World War III and, nuclear weapons being used damn near every other week, that just goes to show that this day is nearer than when we believed. And Jamie Dimon, I think he was the CEO of Chase, one of those higher up Edomites, recently said that we are already in the beginning stages of World War III. Verse 2, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. Speaking of these nuclear missiles, there hath not been ever the like, because they came about very recently, beginning with those 2 atomic bombs dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima during the second woe, World War II. Neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations, because when these nations shoot their nuclear missiles, every single one is going to be fired, and then after the dust settles, that's when Yahushai and the 144,000 of the elect of the nation of Israel, who are going to have spiritual powers in that day, they're going to be hunters of men, rounding up the remaining heathens to put you into slavery. And Abarat of that number, we're never going to allow you to build weapons of war anymore. A fire devoureth before them, at the front, that nuclear warhead, and behind them a flame burneth, the rocket booster on the back of the missile. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. Everything looks normal. Cities, parks, people going about living their daily wicked lives. And behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. Looking post-apocalyptic like Mad Max or Fallout. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness. These people getting burnt up to a crisp. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks, because the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is going to be on those missiles, guiding them to their targets without any problems. And what else? The Most High put the spirit on these different scientists to create advanced missiles with very advanced precision guiding systems, as well as their abilities to redirect themselves and dodge, anti-missile defense systems, especially these hypersonic missiles, which Russia is leading in and the United States of America is lagging behind in. Verse 8, neither shall one thrust another, they shall walk every one in his path, and when they shall fall upon the sword, which is speaking of those anti-missile defense systems, they shall not be wounded, getting past them without a hitch to reach their targets. And what did it say in that last paragraph we read? Putin noted that Moscow will continue to modernize its nuclear forces, deploying new missiles that have a higher precision, quick launch times, that neither one shall thrust into another or break their ranks, and increased capabilities to overcome missile defenses. And though they fall on the sword, they shall not be wounded. But now I'm going to close it out in Jeremiah chapter 50. I'm going to start at verse 41. Because like I said at the beginning of the video, the two main adversaries are going to be Russia and the United States of America. But Russia and her allies are going to overcome the United States. Behold, a people shall come from the north, and Russia is north of the United States of America. And also you have the Arctic Ocean region, which Russia has been building up its military capabilities in over the last couple of years. And they've been talking about resuming nuclear tests up there. They shall hold the bow and the lance. Speaking of those nuclear missiles, they are cruel and will not shew mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array, like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. And when you go to Psalms 137, verses 7 to 9, you will see that the biblical Edomites, these so-called white people, are synonymous with the daughter of Babylon. And the United States of America is Babylon the Great in the scriptures. Verse 42, they shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not shew mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array, like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. Now I'm going to jump up to verse 40. As the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof. And how was Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed? With fire and brimstone from the sky. And besides being known as the daughter of Babylon in the scriptures, America is also known as spiritual Sodom and Egypt, as pursuant to Revelation 11 verse 8, which is very easy to see why. Look at what takes place in the month of June. And today's Halloween, and I've been seeing a bunch of how do I want to put it? I've been seeing a bunch of sodomites and males dressed like females out here. So as ancient Sodom and Gomorrah was overthrown with fire and brimstone from the sky, this modern day spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah is going to be overthrown by modern fire and brimstone, 200 million nuclear missiles, saith Yahweh. So shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. And it's going to turn it into the biblical lake of fire from sea to shining sea, and then a desolate, uninhabitable wasteland afterwards. That wilderness we read about back in Joel chapter 2. And man, woman, or child will never set foot on this cursed place ever again. And after a time, only harsh desert creatures are going to dwell here, as it says in verse 39. Therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there, and the owls shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. And this place is going to stand as an eternal memorial as to what the judgment for wickedness was, as well as the punishment for afflicting the apple of the Most High's eye, the children of Israel. Again, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So that's it with this video. With this video, I hope you sincere, Akim, and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shabbat Shalom.